everyone. We'd like to welcome you all to Artisan Mentoring, where we talk about Pianocraft and everything pianos. And I'm here with David Hayes, of course, and one of my best tech friends, Jacob Putnam.
Hello.
And today's a fun one because we get to do tools, piano tools. Like, who doesn't love to talk about that? So, and we even have Coburn here today, who's one of our Artisan lead techs in Denver. So, I mean, we just have we have a lot to do today. So I asked Jacob to be here today because he's awesome with tools.
I'm a hoarder too.
Yes. So do you want to just show like some of the cool things that you've yeah.
I was thinking, like, I have 3 main bags that I carry around with my car, and then occasionally I'll throw some extra stuff in. But I have my main bag that I bring in to every tuning appointment. And then I have a secondary bag, which has a lot of my grand regulation things and repair and different things. And then I have another one that's just for stringing. And then, like, sometimes my car will have different things that I collect and take out and stuff. So it's kind of the evolution of, like, my first bag is my primary bag. My secondary bag gets the stuff that doesn't stay in the first bag, and then so on and so forth until it will, like, get out of the car eventually. And that's the evolution of my tools. So
that's awesome.
But I guess.
Go get one. Go grab one of them. He's got them all here. It's so cool. He's actually here installing a QRS player system on a Bechstein right now. So he's finishing that up today.
Which means more tools, different tools.
Right?
So yeah, I mean, how can I show this?
Yeah, I can move. I can like hold my. How do you want to do
go
it?
Over here?
Yeah, let's do that.
Here.
Maybe that's good. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, we're figuring this out as we go. So
okay.
Awesome.
That's perfect.
These are for later. Okay, so selection of strings. It's always important to have your selection, your manner of strings. This one happens to be really compact, so I like this one.
Is that the Supply 88 one?
It is, yeah. It's an early version, though.
I wondered.
They have 3D printed ones now, which are great. I think they work great. And then the bonus thing, of course, is that there's included trash receptacle in the tube. So you can just kind of carry those around and toss them when you're done. It's important also to have ways of measuring. So having mostly just standard measuring tape is fine. That one's kind of smaller. And then I use this one. This is a caliper from Harbor Freight. It's really cheap, and it works great.
Is that where it's from? Is Harbor Freight? Because I have one of those and I love it, but I don't know where I got it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's Harbor Freight. I do have a recommendation for anyone that's trying to figure out what they want to buy and what they want to spend more money on. If you buy a tool from Harbor Freight, you know it's going to be cheap. And if you use it enough where it breaks and you still need it, then spend the money on the nice thing. And that's a really good way of doing it. If you never use it again, you've bought this really cheap thing and you never have to worry about it again. So learn from my mistakes. My stringing kit has has my original tuning, my first tuning lever.
Oh, let me see this.
From
I'll
25.
Original.
I'll be like Vanna White, like showing up close. Oh, feel that. That's awesome.
It's nothing special, but it's mine. I don't really know how to show this.
So this is all part of your stringing kit?
Yes.
So this is one of 3 kits. Okay.
So cutter, pliers of different varieties,
round
string coilers. Sometimes this one's kind of hard to find.
Yes, I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could buy those. I thought a tech made it. That's why we have one.
Yeah, I think you can buy them, but I don't know
Wow.
where. I bought this off of someone that was retiring.
I think they're on Shaft.
Oh, they're
Oh,
shafts. So that's a coil. What would you call? What is it even called? It's a coil.
Like a bumper. I don't know.
Bumper?
So I don't really know. It's for lifting the coil when it's too far down.
Yeah.
You want to even it out. So instead of loosening the pin and then pulling it up with your lifter, instead you can keep it at tension and use the momentum of that.
Yeah.
To slam it up there and get it where you need to.
That's great.
One thing that's a little different that I use is I have this awl that's I've sawn off not sawn, but I've taken the tip off of this, so it's not sharp, but it's pointed enough where I can get it right in between the little bend in the becket and just pry it out. It's extra, but
I love it.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, but I don't like using a becket breaker, so I'd rather use that. Becket breaker is a little bit more chaotic than I like. Does everyone know what this is?
Just pounder.
No,
I have one, and I had never figured out what it was for, ever.
It's a coil tightener. So
Wow.
it's a kind of a heavy piece, and it has 2 open ends. What you do is there's one. So you have your tuning pin, and you have a coil around it.
Let's speed this up even more. I'm gonna get this down on camera.
Perfect.
Is that better?
So once you've made your coil around the tuning pin, then you put this over the coil, and you spin it around.
Really?
Yep. So what this is doing is it's eliminating not eliminating, but you're speeding up that process of the coil tightening up over the years, and then you don't have to go and retune it so often.
Cobran, you and I've never known that. I've had that tool.
Great. I'm going to use it every day.
Yeah. So the way to do it, and I've been doing it recently this way. I used to do it just 100 rotations and call it good. The way that Matt actually, who just left, he told me, you go, and then if it goes flat, then bring it up to pitch again, go again, however many times, and then as long as when you get to that point where it's stable again, then that's good. That's all you need to do. And oh my gosh, it makes it so that instead of going back in like 2 weeks to retune that one note, you go like several months.
Really?
Because you're tightening the coil and you're making sure that everything else is where you want it to be.
Can you explain how to use it again?
Sorry?
Can you explain how to use it one more time?
Yes. So you have your tuning pin. You have your coil all the way around the tuning pin.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you find there's like a wide end, and then there's like a narrow end, just depending on how much space you have. And then what I do is I kind of just go like this, and then I just go around in circles. And it will literally, it's tightening that coil up around the tuning pin. And you do that a few times until it doesn't drop in pitch. And then you're good to go.
How often do you do that?
Every single time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Every time you replace the string?
Every single time. Yep.
Or are you saying every tuning?
No, not tuning. No.
No,
This is a stringing.
String.
Every string replacement. Yes.
Jacob, 5-hour tunings.
No, and to be fair, that does make there's extra steps. You can just throw the string on and then leave, and it would probably take like 10 minutes. It probably takes me about 20 minutes because I'm trying to get everything set. I make sure that it's set on the bridge. You tap down with, make sure that it's brass, so you're not denting the strings. And then at the very end, once everything's in place, I also use this. You get this at Supply 88 as well, which I heard you have a special connection with them. But yeah, this is great too. And you want to do that again every single string. I do that every single time.
Wow. I didn't expect for you to pull out a tool that I had no idea, never used it.
There it is. Yeah, and it's $20.
Wow. That's awesome.
What's it called again?
It's like a coil tightener, coil setter. I don't know.
Setter.
Called,
Yeah. Coil setter.
I put the number in the chat.
And it's in shaft.
Perfect.
Okay. Yes.
Perfect. It's only $20.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's just a piece of metal, really. I mean, most of these are, but you know, I have like not had my Knipex little rounded nose pliers, and I had to run and find something. I was up like an hour and a half away, so I couldn't run home and grab it. So I ended up like going to
like a craft store.
Yeah, I don't know, like Hobby Lobby or something. And I got a couple of these. They're not great, honestly. But what I recommend really is like if you can afford the Knipex one for the round nose pliers, those are really nice and they do the job exactly the way that I want them to. In a pinch, though, again, these are jewelers.
Mm-hmm. Those are for
wire bending.
Wire.
Yeah, and they're great. They work fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to do that.
Do you have a set of like vice grip pliers at all for doing single hitch pin loops or anything like that, or how would you do that in the home with your kit?
Oh, single pit. So I have this. It's just a little homemade.
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
So it has and that might be a video for another day.
That we should do that. That'd be cool.
That's actually a lot of fun. But this kind of takes the guessing out of the hitch pin loop.
That'd be good. I was at a Bechstein, a Busendorfer the other day, and he'd have like 3 single strings that they're all single hitch pins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was having a hard time just getting all 3 to look just right because I was doing it kind of old school way where so I would like to see something like that. So we'll put that on the docket for the future because that'd be a good one.
Yeah, and it's just a piece of brass that was modified, so like pretty much anyone can do it. So let's do that. We'll put that on the docket. It's always good to have some sort of gauge when you're setting the height of your tuning pin. So once you've made the coil, after you've like backed it out a little bit, you have everything in place, and then you want to set it, which I have something to set that, but I have just a little piece of wood, and I kind of set it so it touches the plate. I've seen other people do a mute that's mounted to that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that will be a gauge as well. Having something though is really, really recommended. So having some sort of visual gauge to not only, especially when you're restringing an entire instrument, you need to have something like that.
Yeah.
So
that's a good stringing kit. Does all that stuff fit by chance inside the Supply 88 cove or that the tube by chance?
No.
Okay. That's what I usually store all my tools in.
Yeah. So that's
But
great.
I like the trash can idea though too. 'Cause
I have actually. It probably would fit.
Yeah, I bet this all would.
It probably
I could
would
try
fit.
it, but
Yeah.
maybe another.
I end up just putting it in a bag.
Yeah.
And then I just have it in a hard box. And the box is like $15. So.
So this isn't something that you would take out of the car necessarily at every appointment. This is only, or are you bringing everything in at every service call, or is it no, everything stays in the car until I need it?
Right. No, I leave my secondary and my stringing kit, my vacuum. I leave that in the car. Well, actually, the vacuum does come with me often, but if I need to bring it. So especially with the stringing kit, it doesn't really matter if it's super compact because if you need it or not. So having it in a somewhat small box is fine for me.
Yeah, because I have the Supply 88 kit as well. I don't use the tube, but the bag that has it, I have all my extra tools in the bag that the tube goes in.
Yeah.
So it works just fine for me.
Yeah, and the other bag that I have is pretty much the same size as that bag. So I never thought about putting the tools in the tube. I think that's not a bad idea, actually.
That's how they kind of like later on showed, sold it, if you will, as they got it more into production market on. We're like, also there's this tube that you can put all your stuff. I'm like, yes. Shut up and take my money, please.
One thing I should remember, I do have different size pins in bags here.
Oh yeah.
Just in case I need to replace a tuning pin. Then I have my size 2, size 5, 4, just so that I can.
That's a good idea. And by the way, we just found out recently that Howard's Piano Supply sells, like, you can get 12 tuning pins or something like that at a time. So you don't have to buy a full box.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that is nice.
The same thing with key tops. They do just an octave of key whites.
Oh,
That's good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Good
That's
call.
nice. That's Howard.
Howard.
Yep, that's Howard.
Music
Yep.
Supply, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because that sucks when you have to spend $250 on a box of tuning pins for just 2. So
Yeah, that's my stringing kit.
Okay.
It all fits right in there.
Yeah,
It's great.
it all goes in together. Did you want to show off those?
Okay. Matt took his Casado that he just got, which is gorgeous, by the way. And Randy did the whole video with the music, and it has this like beautiful. But he left these 2 for us. These are his 2 Rayburns. So this one he got at the convention. It's so beautiful. It's made of olive wood, and Matt has a degree in Middle Eastern studies, so he was there for a few years on a mission, and he just has such a huge heart for that part of the world. So he's like, I have to get this one. So he just got this one at the last convention, just barely, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh wow.
And I don't know what this one he's had for a little while.
That's the one that's
right?
his original Rayburn.
It's his first Rayburn. It's just gorgeous. Oh, they're so pretty. Oh, they're pretty. Isn't that just like, I just drool over these. They're just so pretty. So
I remember he came into the shop and was like, I got it. And we both like drooled over it.
It's kind of a big deal when you get your first like fancy lever. It's kind of a cool thing, but they're just pretty. What do you want to show next? Got another bag out. So
this looks like a primary right here. Is this your primary kit?
This is my primary kit. Yep.
Ooh.
I wanted
I'm excited
though.
for this.
Did we want to let anyone else go next though? Because you can come back to me. I have stuff.
Did anyone else
I'll show the newest tool that I got, although I need to get a replacement because it's not working correctly when I got it from Shaft. It worked part of the way, but I got a pedal pin extractor to work on my lyre.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, it worked fine for a while, and then it started locking up. So it's not wanting to turn real well, so I got to get it replaced. But
Did you lubricate it?
I did not, which is probably part of the reason why there was the problem.
Yeah, make sure you have, when any of those kind of tools, it's more talked about in the car industry and stuff, but make sure to put some sort of oil or definitely some sort of lubrication on the threading before you start it at all. And that's going to prolong the life of that tool.
Would you put like ProTech? Would you put like Super Lube? What would you put on that?
So there's, what is it called? I mean,
would you use like 3-in-1 oil, like you would use for sewing machines and stuff?
No, I don't want, not something that viscous. You want something more like petroleum jelly kind of viscosity.
So you're thinking of like the white grease,
yeah,
white clear grease,
yeah. Very little amount, but that's all you need.
Okay.
I don't know how to unstick your tool now, though. So sorry.
Sorry, Michael.
That's really handy, though. By the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm just so curious about your kit, Jacob. Because that one tool has been stumping me for 25 years. So, like, this is with the tuning pin setter. So
you said you have that tool, though.
Oh, I have it. It's just been in there. I'm like, this is the worst tuning pin pounder. You know.
Yeah, no.
Because sometimes you inherit tools.
Yep.
And I think I have like a half a dozen of them in the shop that over the years technicians have just like inherited. So, yeah.
Oh, you have a chair.
I got a chair. Yeah,
I was like, are you still on your knees? Okay. Making sure.
To answer your question, I think so. Someone asked who did the pedal pin remover. I think you can buy that at Shaft, right? Is that where you got yours, Michael?
Yeah, that's where I got mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it a pin extractor. I think it's how it's defined.
It's really nice when you're in a bind. You need it.
Excited about this.
So this is mine.
Oh, it's so pretty. Look how beautiful. Oh, the color. Oh, it's so rich.
So this is a little bit shorter hammer. Is that right, Jacob?
Yeah.
So is it what 11 and 3/4?
So it's the smaller one that they offer on Rayburn.
Okay.
It's not like a custom size.
It's like chocolate.
It's nice. It's very red. And then I have the also which I've been getting used to. I mentioned this a while back, but it's fun. It reduces the cramping in my hands. Actually, do you want to show like how it is just sitting?
Yeah, I do. Okay,
it.
yeah. I just want to give an overview of like the whole.
Whoa.
You guys see it?
I like the chambers that it has.
Isn't that awesome?
Is this a kit that's still for sale? Is this a Toolbag that's still for sale?
This is a Gink case,
okay.
But it's their older version. Right now they have one that's more like this size.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have as big of a pouch in the front either.
Wow.
And doesn't it have more over here too? Or is that pretty much all opened up? That's really nice.
Yeah. So
there it's got even
some more in here.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And then this is where I put my iPad.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good overview.
Yeah, so I'll unpack that.
Let's unpack it. We're ready to see.
Obviously, this SAT is my tuner of choice for grand pianos, mostly grand pianos.
Why is that? Just curious.
Just the way that it after. So I would experiment with different pianos, and the tuning that I would get after the SAT on grand pianos versus the TuneLab tunings, it just sounded better. And there's no reason, because I can measure it, and it's pretty much the same. It's just preference. And
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's put it this way. What are you gonna do when that thing eventually dies? Are you gonna be like, I'm replacing it, or are you gonna be what's your plan?
I'm not going to replace it. No.
Okay, okay.
No, because I actually didn't pay full price for this. I think it was someone was retiring, and he was selling all of his tools for $400, and I said, no, I don't want all of them. I especially didn't want this.
Yeah.
And so I offered like 150, and he's like, no, just take all of it for 150. So I got a whole bunch, and I ended up giving it to a lot of people, but this one stayed with me. So
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I guess that's a good metric. And I am really curious. I want to try the Cyber Tuner like you guys were talking about.
Daisy just started using Cyber Tuner.
Yeah.
4 uprights in a day. Like she said it went so much faster.
Nice.
I was like, really?
I think it's funny when you get RL tuners that are just like, no boxes, I'm not going to do it. And then I'm like, just try it. And then they get done and they're like, sounds pretty good. It sounds really good. And I'm like, sounds good. So.
No, and you're not taking away from your talent. You're adding to it. You're adding a tool that's going to speed up the process and make it more consistent.
Yeah.
It's like getting a good vacuum.
Yeah.
It's exactly.
I'm a vacuum connoisseur, so I vacuum my house twice a day. It's a weird thing of mine. But like when you get the really good vacuum, it just improves your life.
That's true. Yeah.
I spent all day watching vacuum videos, Stacy.
It's like
a good like hour and a half. Yeah.
I'm a vacuum. I will spend a lot of money on vacuums. So.
Victor, are you saying that there's like vacuum videos of just like vacuums sucking up a bunch of dirt and it's just like
like versus like like
it knows my heart
versus a Dyson or like a Shark versus a Dyson.
Yeah. Easy vacuum story really quick for you. My family won a sweepstakes or something like this, and where we had this specialty robot vacuum get to come in and they got to demonstrate it at our house. It was like this robot vacuum thing. I was like 10 years old, and they spent like an hour doing one spot on the carpet, and then they said to my dad, like, okay, if you want the rest of it, it's another $200. And my dad was livid. It's like one spot in our carpet was like pristine white after the stupid thing, and then the rest of it. So yeah, there's a little bit of trauma there for vacuums for me, but but there is nothing like a good vacuum. And I am curious what your shop vac situation looks like too, Jacob.
That's in the car. I could grab it, but yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I didn't know if that was part of this kit.
Actually,
if anyone has the data vac, it fits very well into this percussion bag, Mike Balter mallet bag off of Mike Balter's website. So the data vac fits perfectly into this little thing.
Oh, look!
That's cool.
That's
you could probably
nice.
put a couple other little attachments in there too. Yeah, Cobran?
I've got all the cleaning supplies in there right now, little, like bottles of Corey product. On the side, I what do you call it? Safety pinned onto the side, the Spurlock soundboard cleaning tools.
Yeah,
that's great.
Did you say your vacuum is in that bag?
I don't think he's.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you
show everyone
I want to
vacuum,
see.
Cobran?
So this one actually has mallets in it. I've got a second bag like this with the vacuum in the car.
You're a percussionist. Nice.
Many talents.
I have a lot of colleagues that are percussionists as well. And especially when they're, I can't relate to, there's like the 5 to 4, and there's certain beats that people just, especially you guys, you get them like instantly, and I have to like, I can't do that. There's like trying to get a F3 out of nowhere. Yeah, I really admire you guys for just getting that. So I think it's really cool.
It is really cool.
yeah, I guess. Let me show.
Yeah, show us what you got. Let's see
I put
it.
links for the case, the newest version of that case.
Oh, awesome.
And I found the coil lifter.
You did.
Yeah, it's all in the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks
let's
for
see.
posting those. Actually,
Yeah, actually, that's really great. I got to make sure I capture that before.
pinning. It's kind of.
How do you like the WNG? The
For the
reamers.
most part, it's good.
Yeah, I want that one. I want that.
I like
thin-
that. That one looks
Yeah.
great. Their burnishers are a little bit finicky, I think.
Yeah, this is
Um,
nice. See that?
I've also put on the side. Oh, not this one. On my other one, I've put the measurements with the caliper of the pin sizes, so I don't have to do the math every single time. I like shortcuts. The burnishers themselves are high quality. I really like them, but they only go to a certain size. I have been meaning to add a universal one just in case, but often if you get to that point, just being ready to rebush the thing and quickly moving on is an option as well. Anyway, that's the repinning kit. I also have just the pin cutter, flush cutter. That's part of that, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll note that.
While we're on the pinning, Jacob.
Yes.
Victor, I was at a customer's house. They had a ceramic grand. They didn't have the money to go ahead and splurge on repinning everything, but the hammers were fairly tight in the midsection. So I did put a little of that ProTech lube on it, just kind of drizzled a little bit. Jacob, have you done much of that, and how long do you think that typically lasts, or is it so case by case?
It is, especially if it's a lot. If there's a lot of pins that are tight. I like doing the alcohol treatment, actually. Have you ever tried that?
No. Is that where you put some in and then heat it up with a heat gun?
No, you don't heat it up. So you still use, let's see. I have a different one for the alcohol treatment. This is ProTech. But I use the same bottle. And depending on how, I guess this might be a discussion as well, but quickly, I guess, depending on how tight all the pins are, if it's really, really tight, you want to use a different ratio of water to alcohol. So if you're doing like 90% or 70% or 50% isopropyl, you can buy those all at the pharmacy, and they're all pretty much the same price, but they do different things. The alcohol is the thing that's the catalyst that's going to just evaporate off.
Okay.
So the water, the amount of water is what is what's going to loosen the pin, and then that's going to dry. You take that and you put it just like the ProTech. You're putting it in to the bushing.
Yep.
You soak all of them, and then you tell the customer don't touch the piano because it's just going to get worse. Like if it's sticky, it's going to get really sticky. And then in 24 hours, you're going to get your result. So sometimes if you want to just take the action with you and then bring it back the next day, or like whatever you can work with.
So if you have a Samick, Youngchang, just a cheaper Asian piano they're swinging like 2 to 3 times, there's nothing swinging, what would your ratio be on something like that?
Generally a 70 is going to be fine. 50 is really, really like worst case scenario. 90 is even you want to be really careful.
Okay.
Because that has the most amount of alcohol, right? 70% is a good result. Sometimes you can mix it so you get like an 80%, But using the 70 off of the shelf is great. That's what I would recommend, and that actually works much more consistently and longer term, in my opinion, than Flowtech.
That's really good to know. Thank you for that. I wasn't quite sure about that.
That's a good question.
I do have that other bag for with all the cleaning stuff.
Oh,
I want to see it.
yes, Coburn. I want to see. Coburn does a lot.
So here's the other Mike Balter bag. It's got microfiber and then like a little bag to carry the dirty cloths in. Corey products.
Nice.
Disposable and reusable gloves. The vacuum attachments for like the blower nozzle.
Nice.
And I forgot where this brush came from, but it's like super stiff bristles, and it's good for getting into the
oh, is it?
like cleaning pins, tuning to clean the tuning pins. And let's see, an N95 mask in a bag.
It just like keeps coming out.
I know.
There's the like the hose for the vacuum.
Sweet.
There's the actual vacuum itself.
It works really good.
Yeah,
It works
Jacob,
good, doesn't it, Coburn?
We love
It
those.
does. This is a pitcher's mound brush for cleaning for baseball, and it works great on the tuning pins as well.
I like that.
Well, that's a good idea.
And then because there's never an outlet near the piano, an extension cord,
Oh,
and then
brilliant.
stuck in the middle of it was a magic eraser sponge.
Oh, nice.
Gosh, that bag is huge.
And then on the outside, I've got the spur lock bag just tied to the handles with the black trash bag, and that's got the spur locked cleaning tools, lots of like paint brushes for digging into dusty areas, Q-tips.
Wow.
Um,
Coburn, chef's
Supply-
kit, friend.
Supply 88. Hold on. The Supply 88 cleaner with the spur lock tools inside.
Yeah.
Coburn, that's so. You're
And
like,
then there's the Scotch Brite. There's blue Scotch Brite and green Scotch Brite for cleaning the strings. The blue for the bass strings, so not to really scuff up the copper, and then the green to really dig into the plain strings.
Yeah.
wow. And that all fits in the bag.
That's awesome.
What was the name of the bag that you got?
That was great.
The cylinder bag is Mike Balter, Balter, Balter.
Mike Balter.
That's like everything I could. It's like a 72-hour kit for cleaning. It's like amazing.
And you said it's like a mallet bag? Is that what you said it was?
Compact.
Wow.
Is it a
Percussion mallet. Yeah, percussion mallet bag.
Wow.
I'm just kind
Yeah,
of
I just-
dropped at that.
I almost got her confused because one customer had a dog that was the same shape and color as that bag. I was like, and same length. Her dog was the same length too. So
Grab all the handles and go.
So you almost carried a dog home? Is that what you're saying?
yes,
That's great.
Okay. So that was the
I need to
coolest
see this
thing.
tray, Jacob. I want to see this tray that I thought I saw you have. It looks like a whole bunch of things stuck to it. What is this?
So this
That's
Oh my gosh.
is not all of my stuff.
wow.
So I always admire the people that can, like Coburn, that has everything very, very organized and very compact. That's not. I'm not here. I can't do that, so I'm not gonna even pretend.
did you put those straps on there, or did it come like that?
No. So this is a cocoon case. Often you find this in like electronics. It's marketed more for those kind of things. It was designed by NASA, and it's like it used to have Velcro, and they'd stick it onto the sides so that their tools wouldn't go flying in space. So it's kind of nice. Also, it's kind of a mess. But that's how my brain works. This is like my brain going, right? So, but it's also it's how I can continue to use my the evolution of my tools. If it stays in here and I can readily find it, then it stays here. If it ends up being down here, if it goes and I have to find it, if I can't readily find it here, then that means it probably needs to go into my secondary bag. And that's kind of how I keep things tidy. But it's mostly it's not all of my regulation things, but it's the things that I want to have really quickly, just in case there's something really quick and I need to fix the dampers, or I don't know, the punching lifter. There's the
spoon bender.
Spoon.
Really
So this would be your quick repair type tools, and not a full regulation type tool that you would need.
Yes, although I mean most everything is here except for grand regulation is in my secondary bag.
It's like 40 tools in there.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Dip block. There's of course everything is like mostly combination handle. Here's a tool that you don't really see these very often, but these are the center hole bushing, not bushing, but it's a reamer.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Instead of having the one
for keyholes.
Yeah. The balance rail hole.
Yep.
And I put just some thimbles on there, but
I wonder what that was. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I just glued it on there. What else? You guys were talking about string lifters and things. That's mine.
Oh wow!
It's just brass.
Do you chuck it into a combo handle?
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
And you just take a file to it. It's brass. There's the little dip tool.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at. I'm okay at.
Looks like you have a screw like holder / screwdriver there on the on your right hand side. Is that right? Something to hold the screws. Maybe your left side. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is just a little like a pickup tool.
Yes, I love those for putting in screws into upright. When you're removing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. Or extracting something that you dropped way deep in somewhere and it's not magnetic. It's sometimes it happens, but what can I say about this? There's a lot of duplicates. In fact, I could show you this is the let-off tool, but I also have other let-off tools that I use more. It kind of just depends on the piano. On uprights, most of the time I'm using my wood one, but not that one. I also have many different kinds of tweezers, but having a really thin one is really nice. What else? Oh, the one that I like to have that is very unnecessary is this one.
What is that?
Because occasionally you'll get people go, oh, you don't use your ears for tuning. Mostly I use my hands, and then
you don't use your ears for tuning. teaching. Yeah.
But then I can have a conversation and I'll show them the tool, and then I can like go from there, educate people.
Yeah.
Often those people that are making those comments are not my client, but it's like the husband that walks in and has no idea what they're talking about. So
Yeah.
it's
So
still
is it
fun.
a video game you're playing? I get that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's called, how to tune a piano.
Right.
And I get those people like, so I could just buy one of those. I'm like, yeah, you have about $1,200 laying around to get a tuning app, and another $500 for a good tuning hammer, and then another, you have a couple grand, you can do it yourself.
Right. And all of you are going through this, but you can know the theory of tuning in a couple days, but that's not what tuning is about. It's all about the technique. It's the tip of the iceberg. So, and it's kind of fun, actually. Have you ever just let someone try to tune?
I have. I'm so surprised when I did it, let somebody that they didn't break a string, because they just like went for it. I'm like, oh, what have I done? I've only done it like 2 times, and it was pretty funny each time.
Yeah.
I'll have to find the video. There's a professional pianist that does YouTube videos all the time, and she had a video with her piano technician tuning her piano, and she got to try to tune the piano.
Nice.
I'll have to find that. I'll post it in the feed because it was very funny.
Art of the Keys. That's her name.
Yeah.
Art of the Keys.
Yeah.
It was a great video. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. Someone had tampered with the piano that I was tuning for a place called a Makerspace, where they have like all sorts of sewing kits, 3D printers, computers from all different decades, just all sorts of like wooden lathes. So they thought they'd have a piano in the shop too. They had me come over and tune it, and someone had previously tampered with the note D4, and it was all the way up to G4. And this is like an over 100-year-old piano. I'm like, well, there goes my fear of breaking strings. If they can take D all the way up to G, then it should be fine.
New strings can take a lot.
Wow.
But
what are these?
Crazy.
There's like measuring tools there, Jacob?
Yeah, this is a 1/8-inch magnetic tool that you stick for uprights for let off.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Looks great.
I don't have the fancy tool that you guys have.
You know what?
Almost though.
You know, if you're good this year, maybe Santa will bring you one.
This is a nice one, actually. It's pretty good.
So that one's from Yamaha. This one's the shaft. This one is not even one. Bass section on grand pianos is the only thing.
Yes.
And
that's your piano wire.
No, this
that's
is
a mute.
Yeah, this is the end of a mute. So
because
which I don't use these. I don't use the handles. So. And then I have a variety of aftertouch gauges.
Oh wow,
these are great.
I think
looks like you got the Renner one from Renner Academy there.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't go.
Little flex right there.
No, I haven't gone yet. No, I'm getting ahead of that. I haven't gone. Maybe if I'm good, Santa will. I like to have those, even though I rely on my touch for that. I still like to just double check every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like to rely on my ego for those kind of things all the time.
Where do you get those gauges?
Sorry?
Where do you get those gauges? I've never seen those.
I think these I got from Howard.
Oh, okay.
But it was years ago. I don't know now. I'll double check. I'll try to find that. But
yeah.
They're just yeah, I'll put a link for it. That's
sounds good.
But you can do that with just punchings as well. So it's not necessary.
No.
But it's there.
Yeah, they used to back in the day. The PTG got in a little bit of hot water with the Federal Treasury, because what they used to do is that they would drill a hole in a nickel and hand those out to people at the guild. And then the treasury is like, hey, why are you drilling into our currency? And they're like, oh, yeah. So they stopped doing that. But that nickel was that perfect size.
Nickel.
It was a nickel. Yeah, I remember I was still going to them back 25 years ago when they were doing it. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, they weren't doing that when I was.
Howard still has the aftertouch gauges.
That's okay. Awesome.
It's $12.
Oh, how much are
$12 for 5 of them.
Okay.
Temperature, humidity. It's not necessary again, but I like to collect that data just because sometimes if you have a really humid house for some reason, here in Utah, it's always dry. It's almost always 20 to 30% in most houses.
Doesn't ever change.
When someone has like in-house humidity thing, then you get the outliers of like 50% or more. Again, usually it doesn't matter because it's going to be consistent, but I'd like to keep it just in case. I carry this. Again, this one is definitely not necessary.
A down-bearing gauge?
It is a down-bearing gauge. It's pretty simple, but just a piece of aluminum.
You want to explain how you rock it? So for people that haven't seen a down-bearing gauge, it's pretty simple, but
yeah. So, say the bridge, you put this over the bridge. There's 2 pins, right? Or 2 sets of pins, and you kind of go in between, and you want to rock back and forth. If there's nothing happening, if there's no rocking, then that means that it's either level on either end of the bridge, or it's worse, or there's negative bearing. So you want to have somewhat of movement there, and that means that there's down bearing. It's not going to tell you how much down bearing there is. This is just to see if there is.
If there is any, yeah.
That's
a great tool.
Yeah, it's something that actually I want to design and 3D print that. I think I can do that really quick. So that's on my to-do list.
Yeah, he 3D prints on the side. It's kind of cool.
Gum case with business cards.
They have your big league chew in it. What are your gum cases?
yeah. Habits, right? Let's show this side.
Okay.
So then the rest is the kind of quick access to my homemade little thing that apparently is very easy to buy. The Vera, I actually liked the fixed. I still have my combination kit with different bits, but I switched because it ends up being a lot easier just to grab my Phillips and then just go right in and then put it away. You always want to have 2 sets of pliers or wrenches because when you're adjusting pedals, you need
pedal rods.
You always want to have words are hard today for some reason.
It's okay.
Metal ruler. That's what you're looking for.
Little straight edge ruler.
Yeah.
Calipers. And then necessary, you need needle nose pliers.
You got your easing pliers there too.
Sorry?
You got your key easing pliers I see there too.
I do, yeah. So this, again, this probably can reside in my secondary bag, but it comes up so often that I'd rather just have it. I could just take it apart, do the key easing really quick, and then keep going. And I'll tell the customer about it afterwards. I'd rather not make a big deal about it. So that's why it ends up being in my primary
just go
bag.
there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Front has glue, some cleaning supplies, Corey's, right? I do have a lighter. I actually have another one in there, just in case you need to burn some just alignment. You don't actually do that very often, because often if you change the alignment, then it's going to change the voicing on that note. And then the person's like upset about how, I was trying to help you. I'm sorry. So that's come up sometimes. This one is so long. I really don't like this one so much, but this is the starter. And I just been too lazy to buy another one.
Yeah. It is a really long one. I don't think I've ever seen one that long.
Yeah.
What was that again?
This is a screw starter. It has a magnet on the one side, and then it has that spring-loaded thing on the other.
So
I have This is a flat head. I also have a Phillips that I never use, but I think that one is from the now defunct Piano. What is it? Pianotech.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the last thing is this one, which this one takes a little bit of explanation. This one is heavy, and I don't recommend it. But I do recommend it, and I don't. It's kind of weird. So it's just a screwdriver, but what it is it's gyroscopic. So you put your bit in, and then depending on where, like how quickly you tilt it, it will rotate.
Do you use
that for like tightening action screws really quick, kind of a thing?
Yeah. So anytime you're actually taking any screw off, what I've noticed from any other screwdriver, electric screwdriver, is you lose the tactile connection to where that is. So how many times have I stripped a screw because the torque is off or something? It's awful. And so I stopped using electric screwdrivers. But it's all touch. So once you get some resistance, then you slow down naturally. And it's really nice. So if you're in a store setting, if you're unscrewing a lot of screws, if you're doing liars, if you're in a situation where you're going to be screwing and unscrewing fasteners often, I 100% I really recommend this. It is
the DeWalt.
It is the DeWalt DFC 682 8-volt cordless screwdriver.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna look into that because we do a lot of repinning for like stacks and stuff like that where you're taking off a lot of screws.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets.
Yeah. Wow. So this is just, and it's still screwdriver. So even like once you've gotten to the point where it's pretty tight, you can still kind of crank it a little bit more if you need to. But it's that connection to it. It takes like 2 seconds to get used to it because you don't really understand. Like you're waiting to go push forward or push backwards to go forward or back. You push it, it's on, it's waiting, and then you twist.
That's cool.
And it's really cool. I really like this. Well, and that's pretty much my primary bag.
Wow.
Other mutes, I guess. I did mention that I like to change up the way I do my mutes. I have strip mutes, but I also carry a bunch of different mutes. Like I don't know if they even sell this one anymore. Yeah. Do they even sell that?
I have not seen one of those in years.
Yeah. I like to change it up. I always recommend people to try different things. If you want to improve yourself, try and push yourself a little bit. Oh, and especially the thing, if you're trying to improve your speed, focus on everything after and in between moving the pin. Don't worry about moving the pin because that's the quality, and you don't want to rush the quality. So moving the pin, whatever, you're going to take as long as you're going to take. But pay attention to what you do every time in between moving the pin, what you're doing with the mutes, what you're doing with your hands. That's what you want to pay attention to if you're going to improve your speed.
Interesting. That's a good point.
And that's my bag.
Wow. Jacob, thank you so much. Like I'm gonna like probably rewatch this and look at some of the tools because there's a couple things I'm like, I might want that. I want that.
Oh yeah, this was cool.
I made that.
He made this. It's like they're like
It's
I have
BBs.
one. I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you made me one. That's right. I'm like, I have
Is that
one.
for dampers?
No, it's for really noisy upper capos.
Oh.
You just throw
They're
that
like
on
these
there.
little beads, and they're heavy, and they feel like comforting, like a weighted blanket.
Like a fidget toy.
I love that.
It's
Wow.
who did it? I stole it. Was an idea that I stole from who's his name? I'll remember, but
It's a good idea.
he worked at Kauai as a Shigeru technician for a while. One of the few American technicians that do that. But anyway,
Was it Don?
Sorry? Don
Was it
Menino.
Don? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a good
Thank
guy.
you. Yeah,
Wow.
that's his idea, and I 100% stole it from him. But it comes in handy, especially for young Changs, sometimes Steinways.
Mason and Hamlin's have that.
Mason and
sometimes,
Hamlin's
too.
is awful. Yeah, it's great for that. It's really nice. But you could also just kind of like stick something on top of there, just in the upper capo, and that'll do the same thing. So it's not necessary, but it's really easy to make if you want to make it. This one ended up being like 6 inches. I think I would make it longer next time. So if you're looking into that,
I feel like you're gonna have a lot of like little cool tricks that people here would get a lot out of. So that maybe be thinking of some of these little tricks that we can kind of pick your brain at too. So
I'm sorry, I didn't realize what time it was.
no, it's good. Thank you. I think that we made it through 2 of the 3 kits. It's great. No, but I
I'm
knew
embarrassed.
we did better than I thought because I was like, I knew that you probably had a lot of tools, so it was perfect. So it just means that you get to come back at some point and do some more talking with us because this is so helpful. It's so helpful to have somebody who's been doing it as long as you, to be able to have somebody who's done so much of it. I mean, you're installing a player system right now, and then tomorrow you're going to be going and tuning pianos. So you got a lot of experience. So thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Out of curiosity, how long does it usually take you to install a player? Pretty much all day?
He's done. How many have you done now first? So many.
Yeah, I've done a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
how many
It takes me about 20, 25.
hours?
On this one, it's going to take about 30 because it's an extra heavy.
So it's a multi-day process.
Fine. Oh yeah, it's like a whole
Yeah.
What kind of system is that?
constantly. And sometimes with sales, especially during the holidays, they'll promise, "Oh yeah, we'll get it done by Christmas," and there's like
Oh, man.
they over to get the sale. Like you always have to work crazy hours
Yeah.
during the holidays to like get them installed for the delivery. Yeah, he's had to push it.
I've worked on
all-nighters.
Christmas Eve many
Yeah,
times,
crazy.
actually.
Oh,
all night to get them done. Like, oh. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What kind of systems do you install, Jacob?
Mostly QRS at this point.
They're good ones. I promote them. They're good. They're really good.
Yeah. They
how
came out-
much
came
would
out with
a technician charge for something like that? To say, hey, I know you want to play your piano. What is the range? How about we say that? What is the range that somebody would pay for something like that service?
Their MSRP is around 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the hard cost?
It's less than half of that.
It's a lot of labor though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
And moving the piano into your shop and doing all that, making sure it's all.
Yes. Yeah. It helps that, like in this case, it's at his store, so I can just do
It's
it
already here.
for him.
So,
But yeah, having it at my garage or whatever, I've done that too. So.
yeah.
Jacob, thank you so much. We won't take any more of your time. You've been so generous with us. And
No,
so-
I've been missing you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, we
It was so fun to be together here. It's such a fun store. Piano stores are so fun. Oh, and these tuning levers. Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, everyone. Coburn, you're gonna have to like make a list or a picture.
Yeah, I want to
of
see Coburn
that.
stuff.
That
I
cleaning
think
bag was
Coburn,
like
we're
Mary
going to do a-
Poppins.
about having you come on, Coburn, and just showing off some of your tools, because I think not only will we be amazed at the amount of tools, but I think we'll be amazed at how many tools are in a confined small space, but very organized.
Exactly. And you put a ton of thought into the organization of everything you do. So that would be fun to see. So, all right. Have a
Sure
good
thing.
night, everyone. Okay.
Thank you, Jacob.
Bye.
Bye, guys.